king of Nibiru, he was afraid of his sons, so he sent them to Earth to make them busy here.
Okay, so we're talking about Enki and Enlil, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you know about those two guys, and what is actually Nibiru?
It's a ship.
Spaceship.
Yeah.
It was close to Saturn in 2012.
Right. It does 12,000 year cycles.
But also not cycle, because it can jump through a portal to another galaxy.
Sure, okay.
Yeah, so the cycles are not important.
Right, well, and then just in time. It takes 12,000 years for it to come back again then. Wherever it goes, it comes around in 12,000 years, either way. Okay, so Enki and Enlil. Enki was for the people, for humanity, and stood and was a protector of human beings. And Enlil was still wanted to use them as slaves. So now, this is all debatable and all up for, it's what anyone thinks. So this is I'm telling you how I feel about it. And so Enlil was still wanting to use human beings as slaves to get the monoatomic gold. All the gold's gone now. But I know that they're here now. I know that those.
Yeah, Simon Parks also says that they're
now
both
here.
On Earth.
Oh yeah, they definitely are. Yeah, and I think
body,
in physical bodies, no doubt about it, and animals as well.
And so, what do they do? What do you think?
What do they do?
Are they somewhere in the?
They do all their work in 4D. Okay, they could live a totally boring, humdrum, normal life, doing nothing here, but on a 4D level is where they do all their stuff. And they would not be seen. They would not be. They would not be they would not be a musician or an actor or anything like that. They wouldn't be a television personality, because there's much more power in being unseen.
Sigil magic. Do you know some guy who draws comics?
Yes. Yeah.
How does he do that, and what?
Sigil magic is very interesting, and can be used. I think magic in general is it's intent. Magic is neutral until intent is put to it. Let me think. I've forgotten his name now. You have to let me think of his name. But anyway, the principles of it is if you can design any drawing or any painting or any symbol that is put onto paper, then created and then given a charge, you can then turn that into a physical reality. You can turn that into a 3D physical reality. So you charge it through. I don't know the exact science of how it works, but I just know that you are. If you charge the sigil or
the sigil is a symbol.
Yeah, exactly, a symbol. If you charge it with sexual energy, then you're going to charge it with creative force energy, and you can bring that into 3D. You can manifest, and you can pretty much manifest anything into 3D with sex magic. That's their main thing.
So it means also that they can charge some kind of a symbol with intent and energy, and then they can publish that.
Yeah. Yes.
And it makes something.
Yeah. Okay. So the intent is obviously critical to the whole thing. I nearly had his name and I've forgotten. Yeah, he does the X-Men comics. He writes a lot of the X-Men comics. He put himself into the comic books that he was writing, and then started to find out that when he'd write himself into his comic, and then what the comic he'd create, but then it would happen in his real life. So
so he created his life
through
the
paper. Yes, and turned himself into a character that he wanted to be through that, and
So if he could do that for himself, it means that Hollywood can influence, and it's of course created to influence millions and billions of people.
That's the main thing. Yeah, that's the thing. Hollywood is the biggest illusion manipulation tool of them all, and you have there are good forces working within, trying to counteract the negative ones. So what you'll have happen is you'll have a film come out, which will be swaying the consciousness in one direction. Then you'll have an alternative film studio put a movie out, which will try and sway the consciousness in the other direction to make sure that so it doesn't go wrong. So and they interchange characters as archetypes. So they may use Matt Damon as a Christ archetype as one point, or a Luciferian archetype as another time, to switch it up to keep it confusing.
Like Terminator, in the first part he was a bad guy, Schwarzenegger.
Right.
And in the second part he was a good guy.
Right. I mean, it's not, but I'm talking about archetypes rather than specific character names. But, yeah.
Okay. The film Matrix.
Yeah.
What is real in the film?
I think you can pretty much go to that movie and find a lot of the answers in there. I think there's a lot of answers in there. I think that when that movie came out in 1999, it was a big shift. It was around the eclipse time. There was a huge full solar eclipse in August of 1999, and that's around the time when The Matrix came out. And there was a massive jump in consciousness, human consciousness, and that movie had something big to do with it, because it impacted the world and gave people an understanding, a better understanding. Even if they didn't believe, okay, that is that, it at least gave them the opportunity to muse over it, you know.
In Matrix, there is a moment when this Agent Smith interrogates Neo.
Yeah.
And for half of a second, they show the driver's license of Neo.
Yes, it says 9/11 on there.
Yeah, 9/11. The validity of the license is still 9/11/2001.
Right. It tells you the date of the Twin Tower. Yeah. I've got about 10 movies where it shows you Back to the Future. There's a whole lot of 9/11 symbolism, because they can't do things like that. Remember, they can't create. These beings can't create. They don't have creative energy force. They don't have it. They have to take others and then do it that way. So they have to. That's called predictive programming. So they're putting these in there to slowly condition the mind to accept the fact that the towers were going to fall, and then they did. You couldn't just do it. They have to get us to do it. They essentially had to make us make the towers fall, because they can't do that.
Can they go to this heart chakra? Actually, do the reptilians have chakras and different?
I don't know the chakra system of them. I don't know. I don't. They see most of the attributes of the heart chakra as weaknesses, though, and vulnerabilities. So they would. I would.
They
think,
perceive us as weak because we have emotions
yes,
and different states.
Yes, and they also perceive us as weak because we have to change form and change our body as we go through the years. They don't. They've had the same physical form through millions of years. So and they think that we're weaker because of that. This current war, and I've noticed like a really, really big anti-God movement at the moment. Like it's coming on really, really, really strongly. They're pushing internal self, so like governed by self, which is the 666 symbol. 666 is just the number of man. Any act for self is 666. So I've seen that pushing it. They're trying to usher in the new eon. They're trying to get rid of the Christian era, because that was when Crowley started that in 1913 with the Book of the Law, and kill off that, and then start the new eon of Horus. And it's very interesting to me, because I don't know. So before the eon of Horus, there was the eon of Osiris, and before that the eon of Isis. Eon of Isis was a matriarchal worship, and then the eon of Osiris was the worshipping of or male domination, and was sort of still in that. Now we're going into the eon of Horus, which is the child. So it's child energy, child heart. That's what the eon. So I was thinking about it myself the other day. What's wrong with that? What's wrong? Cycles are cycles. We're cycling through we're always cycling through. That's cyclical is how it works here. So why is it that the other two eons were all right, and this new one is so particularly bad?
The Christianity was started by the Roman Empire, and now we still have the Roman Empire under different names, like Vatican, United States.
Yes.
Oh. So they want to exchange it for a different religion.
Yeah. Okay. They want. I mean, they want a a whole one world system set up, right? One world religion, one world government, one world army.
Money.
That was a gold bug. Yeah, exactly. A whole system, a centralized system, which would be more would be more efficient.
Next right.
Depopulization, and then a centralized system. But they want an androgynous people. They want an androgynous because they want to be able to have both, so that they can have both in one body. They want to have that. That's why they're pushing the feminization of man, the emasculation of women, and the Bruce Jenner thing is all predictive programming and conditioning and showing you that look what we can do.
Mm-hmm. So the child in the morning can wake up and decide, I don't want to be a boy anymore, I want to be a girl.
I know. Right. This is a lot of MK though. These are mind controlled. Mm-hmm. These kids have been mind controlled to do that.
Kids and also societies.
Sure.
Like in Alaska, it happens.
In Alaska?
Yeah, I heard that.
Really?
In the schools, it is pushed so much that the school director cannot say anything against if the boy says, I'm a girl. That's it.
Really?
I'm not for sure, but someone.
It's very fascinating.
Okay, for the wrap up, maybe something more positive, because there were some negative.
Well, the positive thing about all of this is that it is coming to an end, and this consciousness is getting to a position where it has to give up. It has to give up. Doesn't have a choice anymore.
It's low
because because the vibration of the planet here is raising so fast that it's going to hold on as long as it can, because to give up the power that it's had for so long. And remember, this war, and I've said it before, is between the priests and the scientists. Mm-hmm. This is an ongoing war between the priest faction and the scientists. The scientists worship the self and the internal, and the priests worship the spiritual God, right? Mm-hmm. So this is the war that's going on. Even the massive atheism movement, which is tied up with a bow, which really is Satanism. Really, there's lots and lots of parallels. They're dressing up these new sort of named philosophies, which are basically modern Satanism. Anyway, the vibration of this planet is raising very, very fast, very quickly, and as it does, there's going to be a period of chaos, because there has to be. As it raises, we're going to start seeing things for what they really look like, and they don't look like this. Mm-hmm. So, for some people, the majority of people, it's going to be a bit of panic for a minute mm-hmm. there. But I think that there are people here put in place. Sleeper agents as well, to know what to do at the exact time. I believe I programmed myself a long time ago to know where to be and what to do at a certain time. I trust my intuition very, very well, and I know I'm being guided and helped out all the time. Mm-hmm. All the time.
And we can see they are panicking.
Yeah.
Like the amount of chemtrails and amount of
there you
propaganda.
Go. I mean, that's all fear stuff. It's if they're having to do that more, that means they're frightened, right? They're in a state of fear.
So it's
massive.
Very good news.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Actually, the vibration raising is caused by what? By a certain position of the solar system in the galaxy.
It's the Earth itself waking up, going through sleep cycles. Mm-hmm. So as the Earth wakes up,
the Kali Yuga, Dwapara Yuga.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, mm-hmm. So that as that happens, there's nothing they can do about it. So they're gonna have to run, get off the planet. Literally just do a runner. Uh-huh. Run away is the only choice they've got.
So they can come back after.
We're gonna face them again on another battlefield, okay,
uh-huh.
and another time in another place. They're not gonna disappear, okay. These guys don't just disappear. But I believe we're gonna have a massive reign of peace, and there will be paradise here for a very, very, very long time. Mm-hmm. But they're not gone. Energy is not created or destroyed, is it? Mm-hmm. It just transmutes or shifts to another thing.
But is it possible that out of the panic they would do some global suicide? Is it possible?
You mean them kill themselves
and everyone else? Because
they can't do that. You can't just do that. You can't just kill everybody
using nuclear weapons.
No, it won't be allowed. I don't think they will be allowed to do that. There's certain things they just can't do. They've crossed so many lines and broken so many barriers. Rules. So many rules. Every rule. Every time they make a bargain, they break it. Every single time they make a bargain, they're the ultimate liars and betrayers. The betrayers of the galaxy. They'll say one thing to you, and they pathologically lie. I mean, lies are the easiest thing in the world to them. It's much easier for them to lie and have a false front than it is to tell the truth about anything. Yeah, so that's the way.
That's why maybe they use the symbol of the moon, or they use the moon actually because the moon reflects the sun.
Yeah.
The real light. The moon is the false light.
Totally. Completely.
You have we have moon and money, mono eye.
Yeah.
That's why we have mono eye.
Right.
Triangle.
Yes. Moon eye.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought about the other day. I thought about the monkey as well, the moon key, and what does a monkey have to do with the moon? I don't know, but a moon key is an interesting thought. Okay, so the moon is feminine energy, remember? Okay, and the sun is masculine energy. Okay, now if the false reality is being amplified from the moon, which is negative feminine energy, that is what I've been trying to. I'm saying that at this point, what's controlling this planet is negative feminine energy, trying to emasculate the strong males on the planet who are here to protect the divine feminine, who need to protect the divine feminine. So it's the false dark female, which is the moon energy, is doing that. Just wanted to clarify that one. It's good stuff, right?
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.